Welcome to Top 10. Today we will going to know about top 10 pandemics in the history of mankind. Due to COVID-19 the world is facing a serious crisis. But it is not the first time world is facing this type of critical situation. In this video you will get to know unknown facts about different pandemics. So do not skip, see the full video and subscribe to our channel. Here are top 10 viruses, which caused pandemic, sorted according to death toll. Number 10, the sixth cholera pandemic, 1899 to 1923. Cholera is caused by a bacterium called Vibrio cholerae. People contract after drinking liquids or eating foods contaminated with this bacteria. It didn't affect Western Europe and North America due to advances in public health and sanitation. But the disease still ravaged India, Russia, the Middle East and Northern Africa. By 1923, cholera cases had dissipated throughout much of the world, except India. It killed more than 500,000 people in India, and more than 1 million globally. Number 9, Asian flu, 1957 to 1958. It was a pandemic of influenza A, of subtype H2N2, that's why also known as Asian influenza. It was first reported in China in February 1957. Then it spread in Hong Kong and Singapore in April, then in coastal cities in the United States and India, in summer 1957. In 1918 same type of virus affected the world badly, but this wave was quickly identified, due to advances in scientific technology. Vaccine was available in limited supply, lately in 1957. Improved health care, the vaccine, and the invention of antibiotics contributed to a lower mortality rate. The virus was most deadly in pregnant women, the elderly, and those with pre-existing heart and lung disease. The estimated number of deaths was 1.1 million worldwide and 116,000 in the United States alone. Number 8, 17th century Great Plague. In 17th century, series of plague spread across the world. This type of plague spread from a bite caused by a black rat and flea that carried the Yersinia pestis bacteria. It remains unclear if this pandemic started from a wave of bacteria from Asia, or from the unidentified host reservoir in Europe. In 1629 it spread across Italy, when troops from the 30 Years' War carried the infection into the Italian city of Mantua, and striking the major cities of Verona, Milan, Venice, and Florence. Plague laid siege to the city of London several times during 16th and 17th centuries. Most famously between 1665 and 1666. It wiped out 15% of the city's population by the time it eventually disappeared. 17th century Great Plague took life of more than 3 million people worldwide. Number 7, the Antonine Plague, 165 to 180 AD. Appeared first during the Roman siege of Seleucia in the winter of 165. Galen, a Greek physician, described this in his book. This plague is believed to be either smallpox or measles. Approx 2,000 deaths per day in Rome, at the height of the outbreak. The epidemic may have claimed the life of a Roman emperor, Lucius Verus, who died in 169. Historians consider this as beginning of decline of the Roman Empire in the West. Antonine Plague took more than 5 million lives worldwide. Number 6, the Third Plague, 1855. It was a major bubonic plague of most recent time, that began in Yunnan, China. But there were also scattered cases from South Africa to San Francisco. This disease is caused by a bacterium, usually transmitted by the bite of fleas, from an infected host, often a black rat. The worldwide outbreak eventually claimed some 15 million lives and approx 10 million killed, in India alone. Number 5, HIV or AIDS. It was first reported in June 1981 in United States and numerous cases appeared in Europe, South America, and Africa. In less than 10 years, HIV had exploded worldwide. It is caused by infection with the human immunodeficiency virus, HIV. The virus is transmitted through body fluids such as blood, semen, vaginal fluids, anal fluids, and breast milk. HIV spread through unprotected sex, the sharing of needles for drug use, and through birth. HIV attacks the immune system, specifically CD4 cells, or T cells. After that, body can't fight infections and diseases, eventually leading to the most severe form of an HIV infection, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, or AIDS. About 75 million people have been infected with the HIV virus and about 32 million people have died of HIV. Globally, more than 39 million people are living with HIV at present. Number 4, Plague of Justinian, 541 to 542 AD. It afflicted the Eastern Roman Empire, including its capital Constantinople. Origin of the Justinian plague was in Central Asia. Then it spread across Europe, North Africa, Arabia. Modern scholars believe the plague killed up to 5,000 people per day in Constantinople, at the peak of the pandemic, and killed an estimated 1/3 to 1/2 of Europeans. The estimated number of deaths was about 30 to 50 million people worldwide. Number 3, Spanish flu, 1918. A deadly influenza pandemic caused by the H1N1 influenza A virus. This highly contagious virus attacks the respiratory system. It spreads when anyone inhales an infected person's respiratory droplets by coughs, sneezes, or even talks. In the United States, it was first identified in military personnel in spring 1918. Then initially spread in Europe, America, and Asia, before spreading to almost every other part of the planet. It infected 500 million people, about 1/3 of the world's population at that time. An unusual characteristic of this virus was the high death rate among healthy adults, between 15 to 34 years of age. The number of deaths was estimated to be at least 50 million worldwide, with about 7 million occurring in the United States, and 12 to 17 million in India alone. Number 2, Smallpox, 16th century. Smallpox is one of greatest scourges in human history. Smallpox was an infectious disease caused by one of two virus variants, variola major and variola minor. The initial symptoms were similar to viral diseases like fever, muscle pain, malaise, headache, and also skin rash. Over a number of days, the skin rash turned into characteristic fluid-filled bumps, with a dent in the center. Smallpox was highly contagious, transmitted primarily by direct contact with droplets from saliva and other body fluids that travel through the air, usually within a distance of 1.8 meters. It also can spread by contaminated objects, such as bedding or clothing of an infected person. It ravaged the world from 6th to 18th century, but in 16th to 18th century smallpox became a dangerous problem throughout the world. 3 out of 10 people died of smallpox at that time. More than 57 million people wiped out because of this pandemic. Around 1796 vaccine was introduced, which helped to fight against this disease. World Health Organization certified the global eradication of the disease in 1979, and in 1980 world officially declared free of smallpox. In the number 1, Black Death, the most deadliest pandemic recorded in the history of mankind. The Black Death most likely originated in Central Asia or East Asia, from where it traveled along the Silk Road, reaching Crimea by 1347. From there, it was carried by fleas living on the black rats that traveled on merchant ships, spreading throughout the Mediterranean basin, and reaching Africa, Western Asia, and the rest of Europe and the Italian peninsula. The Black Death was terrifyingly, indiscriminately contagious. The spread of disease was significantly more rampant in areas of poverty. Plague was easily spread by lice, unsanitary drinking water, armies, or by poor sanitation. Symptoms of the disease include fever of 100 to 106 degrees Fahrenheit, headaches, painful aching joints, nausea and vomiting, and general feeling of malaise. Over the next 5 years, the Black Death killed more than 20 million people in Europe, almost 1/3 of the continent's population. The mortality rate of the Black Death in the 14th century was far greater than the worst 20th century outbreaks. 50% of the population was vanished in several cities like Paris, London, Florence, Hamburg, Bremen. More than 200 million people died worldwide. Because they did not understand the biology of the disease, many people believed that the Black Death was a kind of divine punishment. One early medical advance as a result of the Black Death was the establishment of the idea of quarantine. Modern sanitation and public health practices have greatly mitigated the impact of the disease but have not eliminated it. While antibiotics are available to treat the Black Death, still world witness 1,000 to 3,000 cases of plague every year. So we experienced how world fought the pandemics throughout the history. Hope you liked the video and learnt unknown facts about history of pandemic. This was made by extensive research on more than 100 articles and blogs. Please like, share and subscribe our channel. Let us know your comments below and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Stay home, stay safe, stay positive.